I can almost guarantee what you're eating is killing you. But I was also eating food that was basically killing me as well. And I did that for my whole life up until recently. But when I switched over to this new diet, I felt the change immediately. I was able to work and I had no more carb crash. I didn't feel like I had to lay down after eating. I was able to do whatever I wanted immediately after eating. Saved basically an hour of my day. So imagine that, right? Just like an hour a day, every single day for the rest of your life that you just reclaim from just this diet change, right? Imagine what you could do with that 1 hour every single day. I also lost 5 pounds immediately, like the day after I started this diet. And third, my loose skin started to tighten up a little bit. So I'm Amon. I help people with mental and physical health reframe so they can achieve their goals. And here's today's mental and also physical reframe. So you know diet is important, right? So if you've watched my content and you've seen some of my old videos, you know that I advocate intermittent fasting and also having no sugar in your diet. And I recommend it because that's what lost me majority of my weight. I went from 230 pounds down to about 180 or 190 very quickly, and it also took very little effort, just 2 rules. I could eat pizza, pasta. I still ate those things, right? And I didn't really care too much about the quality of my foods. Now let me paint a picture. Not that kind of picture. I wanted to run a business at the time, right? If you've watched Iman Gadzhi, you might know him. I was interested in marketing at that time, so I needed to do the critical task of actually getting people interested in my service, talking to new people every single day. Here's the rest of the picture, right? So I'm sitting down eating pizza. I've lost a lot of weight. I'm down to around 190 pounds. I'm still fat, but I definitely look a lot less fat than I used to. I scroll my phone for maybe about an hour before I go to my computer and do the work that's actually going to get me results in my business. I just got a text. This is what would happen throughout the day. I couldn't focus. I couldn't do the task to bring my business forward, so it didn't get off the ground. And this is what this diet avoids. Alright, so it's definitely not the best for building muscle, but it is the best for having good focus. So you have to figure out what actually is more important to you. This diet is also best for your health. So like I said, in a day, my loose skin started to tighten up. I lost 5 pounds, a bunch of like random things in my body started going away. These health issues I've had for years, they started to ease up. So then, here's the diet. So imagine what a hunter-gatherer tribe actually eats. They eat meat, fruit, honey, things like that, vegetables sometimes, and they eat nuts and seeds if they're desperate. But then what do we eat? We eat carbs, right? Honestly, that's the majority of what we eat nowadays. Before I cut out my sugar, sugar was the main thing I saw in my kitchen. Everywhere there was sugar, soda, chips, chocolate, candy, whatever you think about, right? It was all there. After I cut that out and after my family cut it out, now all I see is carbs. I don't really see too much protein or like good sources of fat in my house, or really any natural food in my house other than like, beans, lentils, things like that. But those are the kind of foods that these hunter-gatherer tribes, they actually like won't eat. That's not their goal to eat. That's like something that they're gonna eat if they're desperate. But what we eat normally is what they eat when they're desperate. So that speaks to the kind of quality of the food that we eat. But this diet is as close as possible to, the natural diet. This is before diabetes was common, before heart attacks were a thing, before stroke, before obesity was even a possibility. Like if I look at my calories this week, it's been maybe 3,000 to 4,000, right? And I haven't gained any weight. If I was eating carbs and like what I normally used to eat, even without sugar, with intermittent fasting, I would definitely have gained 2 or 3 pounds by now, but I'm actually down 5 pounds now. So the diet is animal based. So if you've seen Paul Saladino, that's basically what it is. It's super simple. So there's only basically just 2 things that you need to take into account. Does it come from an animal or is it a fruit? If it's not, then just don't eat it. It's more simple than my old diet, which is intermittent fasting. Is it past 4 p.m.? Okay, you can eat. Is it before 8 p.m.? Okay, you can eat. Is there no sugar? Is there no seed oils? Is there no vegetable oils, right? So a lot of rules that I have to take into account. But then with this, it's just 2 things. So if you take a look at things like honey, right? Those things, like you would think that's like just basically sugar. Why would you eat that? That's not going to be beneficial for you, right? So I've probably eaten like a pound of honey over the past week and I've lost weight. You just drizzle that on anything, it makes it taste so much better. There's not even like a carb crash after that, especially if you get a good quality honey. There's a farmer that we know who lives maybe an hour north of us. The honey from him, there's no problems with that for me. I love how it tastes. I don't have a carb crash or anything like that. I don't feel anything after I eat it. I just feel good after I eat it, right? But then the honey that I get from, Walmart or Costco or something like that, when I taste that, I feel like I want to vomit. So the quality of, the foods that you eat, that matters a lot. I mean, it's a simple diet, can be done anywhere, right? Like even at McDonald's, my friends would probably order like a bullshit burger or whatever, right? Sodas, fries, and then they wonder why they aren't where they want to be with their body. I think most of North America has an order that looks something like this.
I'll have 2 number 9s, a number 9 large, a number 6 with extra dip, a number 7, 2 number 45s, 1 with cheese, and a large soda.
So if that's basically the average North American order, then I don't think there's really anyone who can complain like, oh, I'm fat, I'm sick, right? But at McDonald's, I would just order the meat, and it comes up to basically the same amount of like cost that it would be for a normal meal. But on top of that, you're getting only meat, so you're getting your protein in, you're getting good fat. You're not getting any of that junk that you would have spent that money on. And it's actually going towards your health, right? So maybe $10 to $15 on a burger plus fries plus soda. Instead, just get rid of all that, only the burger meat. It would probably still be $10 for 4 patties. But then if you want more, then obviously you can go up to 15, have a little bit more meat. But you're basically spending the same amount, but it's not going to be harmful for you. You can still eat that. They don't use seed oils in it. They just have the burger just there. I don't know if it's grass-fed or grass-finished or anything like that. Most likely not, but that's still better than just eating a regular burger. And you can do that at McDonald's, at Wendy's, probably A&W, just like a bunch of places, right? You just gotta make sure that they don't cook it in seed oil or like rice bran oil or any oil like that. So this diet is better than carnivore because you don't have like a lack of electrolytes or like a lack of carbs, meaning that you can't really function properly throughout the day. And it's also better than vegetarian diet because you have so many micronutrients and macronutrients from like beef and chicken, lamb, all these things. You can also get them from like organs, from heart, liver, things like that, from the bones, right? And on top of that, you don't eat any defensive foods like vegetarian people that eat mainly defensive foods. And those are the kind of foods that basically they need to have some sort of like acid or like chemical inside them to make them last a long time. Because if they don't last a long time, then they're gonna die out, and that vegetable or that seed or like that bean or whatever, that can't live anymore. So obviously that's not in the vegetable's best interest. So that's why they have defensive chemicals inside of them. And when we eat them, we can't really filter them. So there's things like seeds and nuts, that's what it is, right? Bears, when they want to hibernate and slow their function down, they eat defensive foods almost solely, right? So why would we eat that when we want to have the maximum function that we can in the day? So I'd say just try it. Like, I'm religious. My culture and my religion don't really eat meat, but I found that I function so much better if I do. So my body is healthier. These like year-long health problems that I've had, they've just gone away pretty quickly after this diet. So just try it, ease into it. You don't have to go all the way in and just only meat, only fruits, but I think it would be helpful to have more meat, less vegetables and defensive foods, and more fruit. Because let's say you say you're diabetic and that's why you can't do that, right? Even like honey and only fruits, like that helps people with diabetes reverse it. And I was pre-diabetic before when I was obese, and I reversed that with intermittent fasting and no sugar. So there's just multiple ways that you can tap that. I mean, if it works for you, then you found something that's going to keep you healthy for the rest of your life. You're going to get hours of your day back. You're going to get a lot more function with the time that you do have in the day. If it doesn't work for you, then you can just go back to what you were doing before, because at least you know that this thing doesn't work for you, and you're going to be closer to finding what does work for you. To me, it's kind of like a lock and a key. So I've been trying to jam a gigantic key into a small lock, and it didn't work. But then I shaved down the key a little bit when I put on intermittent fasting, no sugar, no seed oils. I shaved it down. It almost went in all the way, but I feel like with what I'm eating now, it's the actual key. A little bit like this key, I guess. So like this is like the normal person's key, right? The lock, like the hole for the lock it's small. So obviously that won't really fit. It's gigantic, right? It's like double the size. But then compared to this is kind of like the key that I feel like I just unlocked. And obviously it's going to fit in that hole. But who knows, maybe the size of your lock or the size of your key is different than mine, so figure out if this works for you or not. So if you like this video, I have a video on intermittent fasting. My opinion has changed since then on the way that you should probably lose weight, because I've lost weight, 5 pounds of weight just with this diet, and I'm not even trying to lose weight. But I know that it might be the thing that might help a lot of people out. The intermittent fasting, no sugar, no seed oils. If you want to know how to actually execute on that, I have a video. I'll link it somewhere on screen. It'll be in the description. You can just click on that video, watch that video. It'll help you a lot if you're trying to lose those starting pounds, of your like weight loss journey. I'll see you in that video, and remember, this is what hard feels like.